Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? Let's get back to Iraq. Yes, that's right. There's talk of an exchange rate change. And that's got the big what to do going around the dinar community. We're going to talk about that here shortly. So before we get started, do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button because it helps us get past the YouTube algorithm. And also, if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate that. A quick disclaimer, I am not a financial advisor, an accountant, nor an attorney. The advice that I give is freely and of my own opinion. Hey folks, just a quick reminder that back in 2008 and 9, a lot of people lost all of their retirement savings in their 401ks and IRAs because they did not own gold and silver. Yeah, that's right. Gold and silver protects you from a market crash. So do yourself a favor, protect your retirement by purchasing gold and silver. You can go to moneymetals.com, reach out to them, and they will help you set yourself up to protect you and your family from having to start all over from scratch. If you're a first-time buyer and you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and they will send along with your order a free half ounce of silver. So folks, do yourself a favor, head on over to moneymetals.com and protect you and your family from a market crash, as well as inflation. So head on over there now. You can actually own physical gold and silver. Go to our friends at Money Metals Exchange. The link is down below in the description. And don't forget to use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y. If you spend more than $100, you will get a free half ounce of silver. For those of you looking for my address, there it is right here. And you guys know I have an alternative website where I post original content as well as other content that is banned from YouTube. It's $3 a month. All proceeds go to Finding Life's Purpose Foundation, and you have unlimited access. Be very careful of people out there trying to impersonate me. They're asking people to send them money. Don't fall for it. I will not ask you to go to WhatsApp, nor will I ask you to go to Telegram. And here's how you know if I'm the one responding to any of your comments. A person makes a comment. If I respond, you'll see a dark circle around my name. See that? From time to time, I will use material that is copywritten. Just so you know, I am exercising my fair use rights. So this is just breaking right now, and explosions were heard at the Al Tanf base near Syrian-Iraqi border. That's just happening now. The Syrian Observatory reported explosions were heard at the base, explaining that the base belongs to the international coalition where British forces are stationed. So the observatory has been monitoring a security alert for the army in the area, 55 square kilometers near the base of the international coalition. In context, eyewitnesses from the area reported that 4 unidentified warplanes launched raids on the area where American forces are stationed. According to the news, the international coalition forces and army commander deployed in the vicinity of the base, coinciding with the arrival of information about the targeting of the headquarters with drones, while the armed factions emptied the headquarters of its vehicles to transfer it to other points that were equipped with mobile medical points. Iraq chairs an important meeting to remove its name from the European list of high-risk countries. We talked about this before. They've tried over and over. This is one of those countries that have Iraq on the blacklist since they were known to launder money as well as fund terrorists. But since then, a lot has changed. They keep trying like heck to have their name removed off this list. So a delegation has went over there to try to meet with the people of the European Union to see what they could do about getting their name removed off the list. So it says the technical team presented, according to the statement, a review of achievements of the Iraq system for combating money laundering and terrorist financing, the latest developments in anti-money laundering and terrorist financing laws, this type of regulatory authorities and their work, and the most important achievement of Iraq under the first national strategy to combat money laundering and terrorist financing for a period of between 2017 and 2020. It said the observations and inquiries of the European side were discussed regarding the information provided by the Iraq side. Regarding the criminalization laws, the number of convictions, the types of penalties for perpetrators of money laundering and terrorist financing banks, procedures for due diligence for customers and international cooperation in the field of combating money laundering and terrorist financing. At its conclusion of the meeting, the ambassador affirmed Iraq's aspiration to remove its name from the European list of countries with risk in the field of combating money laundering and terrorist financing. We know they've been working on this, and at one time I could have swore they said they removed them off the list, but apparently they're still working on it. That is going to be a huge step for Iraq. Oil minister fixing the price of oil in next year's budget at $60. It was at $50. I'm not sure. I mean, I get why they're trying to raise it to $60. If I'm not mistaken, they're talking about at the end of the first quarter of next year, a huge drop in the value of oil. That's according to this Great Reset. I'm wondering why they'd want to raise it up to $60, because if it drops below that, they're not going to be able to meet the demands of the budget. But let's hear what the oil ministry has to say, shall we? The ministry went on to say that the price of a barrel in 2022 budget, while he expects crude oil, so he wants to move it up to 60, although he believes it's going to get to 100. I do too, but only in the first quarter of next year. After that, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It says the Ministry of Oil said during a workshop held today at a hotel, according to the official agency, that the central government will fix the price of the barrel of oil for the 2022 budget. It will be between $55 and $60. I get that, but if you're wrong, it could hurt you. So let's keep our fingers crossed that they have a 2022 year like they did in 2021, higher oil demands, and the prices being up there. I mean, that doesn't help us here with gas, but I mean, in all, it helps Iraq get back on its feet much, much more quicker and makes their economy that much more stronger, allowing them to take the money that they're making and turn around and invest it into private sectors, and you know how that goes. It says the price of a barrel of crude oil will reach 100 in the first quarter of next year. I was already expecting it to be there now, and I believe it's around 85 now. It says the price of a barrel of oil will reach 100 in the first quarter of next year, affected by the decline in the U.S. and global strategic stocks and the recovery of the global economy from the repercussions of the RONA. Schlumberger is about to start a project to drill 96 oil wells in the West Field, which is the largest of its kind in the country's history, noting that the project will add another 80,000 barrels per day after its completion to the total production of the Basra Oil Company, which is affiliated with the National Oil Company. So this is in the territory I talked about before, that they had not made an announcement that they found what is about to be the second largest or the largest altogether oil field. So interesting that it's in that territory. Or maybe when they start drilling there, they're just going to go, oh, look, we magically found it, and then make the announcement. Not sure. The main operator of the West Field, by using modern technology in drilling operations in the West Field, helps all parties in the Ministry of Oil and licensing companies to reduce the cost of production per barrel and improve productivity. So sure, that's good. I mean, that's more oil that they have available to sell, but I'm concerned about where oil prices are going to land. I agree that the demand will go up if they allow us to open economies everywhere, but I don't think that's their plan. Unless I was right, and whatever this movement is, they weren't ready for what's happening now, and it seems to be falling apart. Oh, here we go. This is what everybody's talking about. After the rise in oil, an expert reveals the possibility of reducing the dollar exchange rate with this mechanism. So what they're talking about is decreasing the dollar against the dinar, giving the dinar more purchasing power. That's the direction we want to go into. It says an economic experts revealed on Wednesday the possibility of restoring the dollar exchange rate to its previous era by a certain mechanism. Now, when they say era, I think they're talking about where it was prior to this last move. So once again, instead of getting 1,450 dinars for every dollar, you're going to get 1,190 dinars for every dollar. Not the big jump, not yet. And I do think it's going to go up in increments a lot faster than people think. So we don't have to wait for an RI or an RV through a normal course of how a currency gains its purchasing power. We can watch for that because it seems to be happening. That's more likely going to be the reason why the dinar goes up in value. Again, I'm not saying that an RI or an RV won't be announced. I'm just saying that it makes more sense to me. They're going to let it go up in increments. As a matter of fact, it says something similar in here. It says the current budgets in Iraq have inflated. and the 2021 budget differs from its predecessors, noting that the actual spending of the country exceeded 110 trillion dinars. Therefore, in light of the current prices, if the exchange rate is restored, debts of up to 120 trillion in dinars will accumulate. It is possible for the state to gradually improve the Iraqi dinar exchange rate because the shock method adopted in changing the exchange rate was not appropriate when they devalued the dinar. The rise in the higher rates and at an inappropriate time, at a time when poverty indicators were rising due to the RONA, and there was an uproar and shock to the markets. Anytime you devalue a currency, it affects the poor. So I was anticipating the change in the rate to happen in 2020. To be honest with you, I thought they were doing good enough for it to at least be restored to the previous rate. So again, more talk about the rate change. That's good. That's the right direction we want it to go in. Iraqi banks get a rating from the international agency. So according to the news, the central bank's media stated in a statement, within the framework of the efforts made by the Central Bank of Iraq to develop the Iraqi banking sector and to keep it in line with the international standards, 19 licensed banks in Iraq obtained a classification from accredited international rating agencies. These banks will receive several banking facilities which reflect the development of the performance of the banking sector in Iraq and the solvency of banks, and is evidence of their compliance with local and international standards. So there you have it, the talk about the rate change happening once again. Iraq trying to do what they can to remove their name off the naughty list. The price of oil possibly moving up in the budget. And it looks like an explosion happening over there in the Syrian border. That part's not good. Anyways, that's it for now, folks. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. I'll catch you later. I'm out.